5 Stoic habits that have changed my life. 1. Prior to delving into Stoic practices, it is a common sentiment that the environment we live in can pose challenges. In today's society, we are frequently exposed to a plethora of information, conflicting ideologies, societal norms, and the pressure to excel or conform. Given the increasing intricacy of daily life and the absence of space for relaxation, it is evident how our psychological well-being may suffer. If we fail to actively manage our career, personal relationships, financial stress, and the overall pace of our lives, it can become overwhelming. Stress, burnout, and anxiety often result from this lack of control. Perhaps the uncertainties of the future keep us awake at night. Some individuals may find it challenging to find a balance between work and relaxation due to the demands on their time. Others struggle with negative self-talk, a lack of purpose, or an inability to find joy in their daily lives. All of these issues can arise if we allow life's pressures to consume us without consciously considering how we perceive and think about the challenges that come our way. Chance does not possess the quality of resilience. Therefore, it is imperative to consider what actions can be taken to address this issue. Both you and I entered this world with minds, beliefs, and values that were essentially blank slates. As we progressed through life, we acquired knowledge about the world surrounding us. Our experiences, both positive and negative, shaped us. We engaged in reading books, watching movies, forming friendships, engaging in conflicts, sampling various cuisines, stumbling and picking ourselves up again. All of these encounters contribute to our identity, for better or for worse. However, a significant portion of what we encounter is not a conscious choice. Much of it is arbitrary and influenced by factors such as our place of residence, our parents, our educational institutions, our social circles, as well as the political, economic, and social conditions of our nation. A considerable portion of our experiences is simply a result of chance. I firmly believe that chance is not a reliable method for determining our true selves. It is possible for the outcome to be positive or negative. However, it is not within our control. Consequently, we may emerge as either a productive and well-regulated individual or a destructive and unstable one. In my opinion, a more effective approach to shaping our identity is to be intentional about it and minimize or even alter the impact of random occurrences. We can question our beliefs, establish our own principles, be selective about our companions, read material of our choosing, listen to what resonates with us, and gradually transform ourselves from being influenced by chance to being guided by purposeful and mindful decisions. Here are 5 Stoic practices that have significantly influenced my life. Prior to discussing acceptance, it is important to clarify a prevalent misunderstanding regarding this concept. Acceptance does not entail passively surrendering to life's challenges, allowing oneself to be overwhelmed, and taking no action. When we speak of acceptance, we are not advocating for complete submission. In the Book of 5 Rings, Miyamoto Musashi, a renowned Japanese swordsman, once expressed the following sentiment: "Truth is not subject to our desires. It exists independently as it is. Therefore, we must either yield to its power or live a life of falsehood." This encapsulates the concept of acceptance. There are often circumstances in life that are beyond our control, and when we come across them, we are faced with 2 choices. We can acknowledge and embrace these circumstances for what they truly are, recognizing that no matter how much effort we exert in attempting to alter them, they will remain unchanged. Instead, we redirect our focus and energy towards the aspects of our lives that we can influence and control. Alternatively, we can resist these circumstances. We may try to distort reality, deceive ourselves with falsehoods, and invest our time and energy into something that ultimately cannot be changed. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, once expressed the idea that instead of seeking things to happen according to our desires, we should simply wish for events to unfold as they naturally do. By adopting this mindset, we can find happiness in accepting the things that are beyond our control. The Stoics believed that a significant portion of what occurs in our surroundings is outside of our influence. However, what we can control is our response to these external circumstances. In order to do so, we must learn to embrace the events that unfold as part of the natural order, recognize the potential opportunities within them, and refrain from fixating on the desire for things to be different. Furthermore, when faced with challenging situations and experiencing suffering, we can utilize the resources within our control to improve our circumstances. Resisting the world around us ties us to external factors beyond our influence, leading to a disruption of our inner peace and a waste of valuable time and energy that could be utilized more effectively in other areas. By opposing the world surrounding us, we fasten ourselves to elements beyond our command, which can disturb our tranquility and deplete our time and energy that could be more productively allocated elsewhere. Memento mori may come across as somewhat grim. It essentially means, remember that you will die. It may not be the most uplifting personal philosophy. Nevertheless, upon closer examination, memento mori has the potential to bring more vibrancy to our daily lives. It can intensify our capacity to love, inspire us to live in the moment, enable us to cherish the things we value, and allow us to perceive life from a different perspective. In his journal, now known as Meditations, Marcus Aurelius states, "Pause whatever you're engaged in for a moment and inquire, am I fearful of death because I won't be able to do this anymore?" By embracing the idea of death and overcoming the fear and unease it may bring, we can harness the awareness of our own mortality to appreciate the present and cease taking things for granted. There will come a moment when you arise for the ultimate time, embrace your significant other for the ultimate time, settle your children into bed, savor your most cherished dish, view a film, peruse a book, gaze at the stars, and witness the swaying of tree leaves in the breeze, all for the concluding time. Once we acknowledge this fact, the impact of it all becomes slightly more significant. 1. Willing discomfort. Following this, we will now discuss voluntary discomfort. It may require some self-control to start, but you will soon start to experience the advantages. 1. In Letter 83:10, addressed to Lucilius Seneca, the Stoic philosopher and Roman statesman, recounts his fondness for swimming in rivers and cold water. He mentions his tradition of celebrating the new year by immersing himself in the canal, and how he would naturally begin the year with a refreshing plunge into the Virgo aqueduct, part of the Roman baths. When faced with difficulty getting out of bed at dawn, Marcus Aurelius prompts himself with the following question: I must rise to fulfill my duty as a human being. Why should I grumble when I am about to engage in the very tasks I was destined to perform in this world? Is this the purpose for which I was made? To remain snug under the covers and seek comfort? Version 1. When struggling to leave the bed in the morning, Marcus Aurelius reminds himself, I am obligated to fulfill my responsibilities as a human being. Why should I complain when I am about to carry out the tasks I was born to do? Is this the reason for my existence? To hide under the blankets and seek warmth? Seneca once wrote, allocate a specific number of days, during which you shall find contentment in the most meager and inexpensive meals, wearing coarse and rough clothing, all the while saying to yourself, is this the condition that I feared? It is precisely during times of freedom from worry that the soul should strengthen itself in preparation for more challenging situations, and it is while fortune is favorable that it should fortify itself against her potential cruelty. In times of peace, a soldier engages in maneuvers, constructs fortifications without an enemy in sight, and exhausts himself through unnecessary labor, all in order to be prepared for inevitable hardships. If you wish for a person to remain steadfast when a crisis arises, train them before it occurs. For you, discomfort may manifest as pushing yourself at the gym, practicing martial arts, taking cold showers, going for runs, or even consuming plain food. The Stoics acknowledge the negative effects of constant comfort. As we become more accustomed to higher levels of comfort, our ability to handle discomfort diminishes. This means that when we experience discomfort, it has a greater impact on our overall well-being. Engaging in activities that deliberately make us uncomfortable can actually increase our tolerance and enhance our appreciation for the things that bring us comfort. By experiencing discomfort, we gain a better understanding of what it feels like to be without those comforts. Personally, I incorporate the gym and cold showers into my routine as sources of discomfort. Occasionally, I also incorporate practices like fasting and consuming bland food. As long as it helps lower your baseline level of comfort, any method can be effective for you. Epictetus once stated that without challenges like the lion, hydra, stag, or boar, as well as savage criminals, Hercules would not have become the mighty hero he was. Without facing these obstacles, he would have simply remained in bed, sleeping comfortably. Therefore, staying in our comfort zone can hinder our growth and development. Always remember to focus on what you can control. If you have been following the content here, you may have come across discussions on the concept of the dichotomy of control multiple times. This repetition is intentional, not because there is a lack of other topics to discuss, but because misunderstanding this concept can lead to negative emotions such as frustration, resentment, and bitterness. It is crucial to avoid falling into this trap. On the other hand, when we correctly identify what is within our control, we can navigate challenges with ease, quickly adapting and utilizing our resources effectively. Epictetus's dichotomy of control remains one of the most profound and straightforward teachings from ancient times, in my opinion. He stated, "There are certain things within our control and others that are not. Within our control are our opinions, pursuits, desires, aversions, and in essence, our own actions. Outside of our control are our bodies, possessions, reputations, authority, and, in short, anything that is not a result of our actions. The things within our control are inherently free, unrestricted, and unhindered, whereas those outside of our control are feeble, subservient, restricted, and belong to others. Therefore, remember that if you mistakenly believe that things inherently subservient are actually free, or that what belongs to others is rightfully yours, you will face obstacles. You will experience sorrow, agitation, and blame both towards gods and humans. However, if you understand that only what is truly yours is yours, and that what belongs to others is as it is, then no one will ever coerce or confine you. Moreover, you will not blame or accuse anyone. You will not act against your own will. No one will harm you. You will have no adversaries, and you will remain unharmed. There are only a few things that we have control over: our actions, thoughts, beliefs, and values. Everything else lies beyond our control. When faced with any situation, we can observe it, acknowledge it, take responsibility, and use our actions to make things better or choose to move on. If we fail to do so, we can change our perspective to reduce its impact on our peace of mind. While we may not always have a say in what happens to us, we can always control how we react to it. Meditation and reflection. Seneca once wrote, Prompt 1. Seneca expressed the importance of self-reflection and introspection in his writings. He described his daily practice of reviewing his actions and words, taking the opportunity to plead his case at his own court. In the quiet moments of the night when the light has faded and his wife has fallen silent, he carefully examines his entire day. Seneca does not shy away from acknowledging his mistakes and shortcomings. Instead, he confronts them head-on, offering himself forgiveness and guidance for improvement. This process of meditation and reflection allows Seneca to learn from his errors and strive for personal growth. This tool, in my opinion, is a simple yet powerful instrument that can greatly impact our daily lives. Many of us follow a routine of waking up, going to work, returning home, completing chores and administrative tasks, spending time with family and friends, eating, unwinding briefly, going to bed, and repeating the cycle the next day. This repetitive cycle, without a method of organizing and reflecting on our thoughts and emotions, can lead to a buildup of unaddressed stresses, unanswered questions, unexamined behaviors, and negative interactions. As these issues accumulate over time, they can erode our peace of mind and eventually lead to burnout. Therefore, engaging in reflection and meditation not only helps clear our minds, but also allows us to process the events of the day so that they do not accumulate and overwhelm us. Reflection also aids in personal growth. By evaluating our approach to life and our reactions to various situations, we can make informed decisions about what to continue and what to change. The specific method of reflection may vary from person to person, but commonly involves journaling, similar to Marcus Aurelius, or meditating on the events of the day to analyze the positives and negatives, as well as the reasons behind them. Regardless of the chosen method, incorporating a reflective practice into our daily routine can have a profound impact on our mental well-being.